Today was a really bad day for Charlamagne the God. It actually forced him to do something that I don't think he wanted to do. It actually forced his hand. And we're going to break down exactly what today forced Charlamagne the God to do. Up until last week, Charlamagne the God's strategy in his war against academics was pretty flawless. Like, Charlamagne the God was commenting on his podcast each and every week, throwing out a bunch of accusations, like making like 10 different accusations on each podcast and allowing the public to choose which one they want to run with, leaving academics and Grand Wizard on the defense. That's until last week when Charlamagne the God made a bunch of accusations and then went on vacation.
Don't talk about me. Don't talk about Roc Nation. Address y'all. Don't try to deflect and say Roc Nation is paying people to do X, Y, Z. This ain't got nothing to do with nobody. This is investigations that people been doing on you and your team.
We should have hit At.
George.
We could have had At come right before you leave.
Nah. I need this. I need
set
them
the worldwide.
I need to sit with this for 10 days. Okay. All right. While I'm minding my business on an island somewhere. Okay. And then when I come back, I'll catch up on everything that the worldwide been talking about.
That was a mistake. That was not smart at all. Because prior to the last 10 days, Grand Wizard and academics was coming online to respond back to everything Charlamagne the God had to say. And they will spend about 7 days trying to debunk it, trying to prove, bro, he's lying to y'all. What are y'all talking about? This is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. But before they were done responding, Charlamagne the God was already on his podcast the following week, throwing about 10 more accusations out there. And before they could get done responding back to that and then say, okay, well, now how about you and Roc? Charlamagne the God was back on his podcast with 10 more accusations. But when Charlamagne the God threw out the 10 accusations and then left, that allowed Grand Wizard and academics to not only fully respond back in grave details and fully debunk everything in terms of polymarket that Charlamagne the God was throwing out there and this narrative that they're going to be arrested soon. They debunked all of that to the general public, and then it allowed them time to now throw out their own accusations to Charlamagne the God and Roc Nation. So now, with this 10 days absent, like Grand Wizard and academics were able to fully turn it around. Now, Charlamagne the God and Roc Nation is on the back pedal. Now they're on the defense. Now Charlamagne the God can't come back on his podcast and throw out 10 more accusations because he still got to respond back to the 10 accusations against him. And when he gets done responding back to academics and Grand Wizard, he still got to respond back to Whack 100, Funk Flex, Ray Daniels, and a lot of other content creators who've been throwing out accusations against Charlamagne. Charlamagne the God is currently in a position he tried to put academics in before he went on vacation. Now, by the time he get done responding or debunking whatever he got to respond or debunk, there's going to be 10 more accusations against him. Now, people are seeing your Charlamagne the God is on the defense, Charlamagne the God looking weak. Now, people who already don't like him is starting to strike at Charlamagne the God. This is a very bad position to be in, especially when you was in the opposite position before you went on vacation. And if you guys aren't tapped into what took place this week, let me break down exactly what's been going on today and why the last 24 hours have been a nightmare for Charlamagne the God. During his podcast with Adam 22, Whack 100 would reveal that he has information, he has specific details on how Charlamagne the God backdoor and snaked his right-hand man for the last decade and a half, DJ Envy. Now, it's unclear how Whack 100 got this information or who is feeding Whack 100 this information, but Whack 100 will list very specific details that he would say if DJ Envy heard this will confirm to DJ Envy how Charlamagne the God had been snaking him. But Whack 100 didn't just stop with DJ Envy. Whack 100 listed several people close to Charlamagne the God who Charlamagne the God apparently has done some foul things to. So now Whack is going after Charlamagne the God's personal life, while academics and others is going after Charlamagne the God's public reputation and persona. This is an attack on both fronts.
A few years ago, Wax had a chicken farm and was trying to get a butcher shop. But Wax's girl at the time was telling people she was abused by him. So Lenny, I guess that's this dude's name. So whoever's sending me this knows Charlamagne personally because they're referring to him as Lenny.
Yeah, because what's his real name? Like Lennar? So
Lenny had to clean his image. So he and Karen decided to fire Wax before the story broke. But to get back at him from f***ing the side chick, Lenny was having the city deny Wax's permits for his butcher shop. Wack doesn't know Lenny was behind this. Now it's finna get deeper. You want to start some shit? If you don't want to start no shit,
You're saying that Charlemagne is so tapped in with the local government in, I don't even know where he would live at, but that he was able to stop his newfound op, his former bodyguard, Wax, from being able to open a butcher
now this
shop?
is the crazy part. Wax is going to know if he in fact was trying to open his butcher shop and kept getting denied. He's going to know this. Now, this next one, Envy, you my guy.
Oh, no.
You my guy. But this the Adam and Wax show, and I think you should know. Lenny was very envious of DJ Envy.
The DJ Envy thing that Whack 100 is about to get into is just straight snake activities. But I would need more information before I call Charlamagne the God a snake for the Wax thing. Okay, because Wax and Charlamagne the God are ops. Right? So if you're telling me, and see, context matters here, okay? And I might be, all right, losing some fans here, okay, with this defense of Charlamagne the God. But if Charlamagne the God did this to Wax when Wax and him were working together, Charlamagne the God is a snake. Charlamagne the God is foul, is not cool whatsoever. You was essentially doing this to hold your mans down so he can forever need you as you dangle his salary over his head like a carrot. That's foul. There's no excuse for that whatsoever. But if Charlamagne the God did this when him and Wax became ops, when he fired Wax and Wax moved on and they were no longer friends and they were ops, I'll be real, man. I don't believe there's rules when dealing with my ops. I don't believe there's a rule. There's decorum, there's rules of engagement when dealing with somebody who is my op, my enemy, somebody who I want to see fail. I don't think there's rules, bro. I don't think using my power in our little town and calling up the city like, hey, bro, don't approve that permit. I don't think that's out of bounds when dealing with somebody I don't like. As a matter of fact, that right there is the bare minimum, bro. If that's wrong, you don't want to see what I do to somebody that I don't like. So I got to get the context here, man. If Charlamagne did this when him and Wax was still cool, he's foul. You is a dirty person, right, Lenny? That's nasty work. That's not cool. But if he did this when they were enemies, man, to me, that's fair. That's fair.
He used to go to iHeart negotiations mad because he didn't understand how Envy has so much money. So he told them he had to be the highest paid of them all, or he was going to Satellite or Hot 97. So one of the execs told Lenny that Envy isn't paid a lot. He got all that money from a big lawsuit and fronts like he works hard for it. So Lenny was trying to get a new person to replace Envy and Angela. They couldn't drop Envy because he had some clause in his contract, but he was able to use his leverage to diminish Envy's bag during renegotiations. Then when Envy got a house in Saddle River, Lenny sold the one he had in Heldon and went and brought a bigger one in the same town to flex. And he brags to us that Envy only got the house because he sued Mary J. Blige for it. I don't want to read the next one because that's some other shit.
DJ Envy got rich by suing Mary J. Blige.
Listen, bro, now here's the thing. Here's the thing. DJ Envy's gonna know if at any time during renegotiations, his shit went down and Charlemagne's went up.
Okay.
Right? And Wax is gonna know if he ran into these problems at the butcher shop. Now,
these are very specific conversations being, like, very specific. These conversations can be verified or debunked very easily. Now, and I hope you guys pretty much figured out by now who exactly is the person that's spilling the information, because there's only one person, one candidate, to be honest, who is aware of what's going on, who can be aware or knew of this, that was close to Charlamagne the God, who don't like Charlamagne the God anymore. There's only one person and one candidate, to be honest. Like, the mall people are trying to figure out, bro, who is telling Wack this information? Who is spilling the beans? There's only one person who would have that information. There's only one person close enough to Charlamagne the God who he fell out with that would have that information. Now, I'm not about to say their name. I'm not about to tell you guys or put a name on it or confirm, because that would be defamation if I'm wrong. But I'm like 99.9999% sure who this person is. And if you have a brain, you would also know as well who's spilling this information. And once you figure out who's spilling this information, then you would probably understand that more than likely this information is credible. Wendy Williams' ex-husband Kevin Hunter is somebody who despises and hates Charlamagne the God probably more than anybody on earth. Well, apparently Charlamagne the God was staying at his apartment at some point. Now, Charlamagne the God apparently got kicked out of that apartment. Now, that man apparently is armed with information about some accusations that women made against Charlamagne the God, a bunch of freaky things that was going on in that apartment on behalf of Charlamagne the God. And this man is armed with information that he's apparently spilling, like he's letting it out.
During my investigation, I was told that my spy is on point with the apartment that he lived at in Jersey.
And for the record, according to Google, DJ Envy has never sued Mary J. Blige, but we might not know.
I did hear something about Mary J., but I don't know.
Interesting.
But Envy's gonna know if at any time in his negotiations some shit started to happen. Come to find out, you know whose apartment Charlamagne was staying in?
Who?
The dude Kev. The chick, what's her name? Williams. Wendy Williams' husband?
Okay.
So they said, Wack, you're not bullshitting. The condo in Fort Lee was Wendy Williams' husband's spot.
Okay.
So I started digging. I called a few New Yorkers. I said, hey, bro, did Kev have a spot in Fort Lee? They like, yeah, he would hardly be there. I think he let Charlamagne stay there. I said, so what happened with them? He said, from what we know, there he goes. They just said in so many words, some freaky funny shit was going on and Kev had to get him out of there.
I've been in a position like this where people were threatening to quote unquote expose me or drop a hit piece against me. But unfortunately for me, I was in a position to where I know what I've done. Like I haven't done anything you can expose me for. I've never done nothing too crazy you can expose me for. So when they were threatening to expose me, again, without saying exactly what they were coming with, I already knew it was going to be either lies or nonsense that's already out there, right? Because again, I haven't done nothing bad. Right? And anybody who come with anything is usually lies. That's pretty easy to debunk. So that's why I come on my platform and I just respond back and it's over with, right? Because people are mad about my political opinions, so they come with like just nasty lies and just slander. So, but if you're Charlamagne the God and you're in this position, now I had a clear state of mind. I wasn't stressed out one bit because I know what I did and I know what I didn't do. And you can't really expose something that didn't happen. But with Charlamagne the God, Charlamagne don't strike me as the type of fella who don't got skeletons, bro. Charlamagne don't strike me as the type of fella who is just out here with a clean slate, ain't never done nothing terrible, don't got no skeletons, don't got no demons in his closet. He don't strike me as the type of guy that's clean cut. I think Charlamagne God has a lot of skeletons. He's done a lot of dirt, a lot of terrible things. So he right now got to go through the list, bro. He got to figure out who knows what, how could they know this, how could they know that, and really figure out, damn, okay, well, what's my risk, like litigation here? Okay, who knows what? What am I willing to sacrifice? He don't want to spend too much time worrying about that because he still got to deal with Mo. You see, before he really got a chance to figure out what Wack 100 knows, Funk Flex dropped last night. Funk Flex said the quiet part out loud. Shout out Danny for the stop last night. What Funk Flex did last night was very impactful, and it made Charlamagne the God look crazy.
See the God was in there when Jay was saying we're past kneeling. Jay-Z knew why the NFL was reaching out to him. All of us, I got shunned. I was called every name in the book for talking about Jay-Z.
Oh, that is terrible. That is terrible. You guys don't understand how bad that is for Charlamagne the God. See, the beginning of Jay-Z's legacy going on the downhill was when Jay-Z partnered up with the NFL after being friends with Colin Kaepernick, after co-opting Colin Kaepernick's movement, trying to be the face and the authority of it. And then when the NFL threw him a bag, he said, yeah, F this movement, F boycotting, F kneeling, we rocking with the NFL now after the NFL threw him a couple of dollars. And then he began to call up media outlets to run negative stories on his homie Colin Kaepernick because the NFL gave him a bag. Jay-Z was brought in to diminish Colin Kaepernick's impact and authority over black folks so we could go past the kneeling and rock with Jay-Z. And they brought in Charlamagne the God. See, when a lot of us tell that story of Jay-Z in that NFL press conference where Jay-Z was like, we done with kneeling, we just leave Charlamagne the God out of it. We kind of focus on Jay-Z and just leave Charlamagne out of it. Funk Flex reminded us, nah, Charlamagne the God was in that room. Charlamagne the God was a part of Jay-Z and the Roc Nation co-opting Colin Kaepernick's movement to get black folks to go back to watching the NFL and stop kneeling and stop boycotting. So why do we give Charlamagne a pass when Charlamagne the God was a part of that?
I think the biggest issue people have is they want to know how you could partner with a league on social justice when Colin Kaepernick, who brought it to the attention of the masses by peacefully protesting against social injustices, still out of a job.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that I think we take it back. I think that we forget that Colin's whole thing was to bring attention to social injustice, correct? So in that case, right, this is a success, right? This is the next thing, right? Because there's two parts of protesting. You go outside and you protest, and then the company or the individual say, I hear you. What do we do next? Right? So for me, it was like actionable item. What are we gonna do with it? Like everyone heard, and we hear what you're saying, and everybody know, I agree with what you're saying. So what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So reach millions and millions of people, or we get stuck on Colin not having a job.
Jay-Z is cold, boy. Jay-Z is a cold one. And Charlamagne the God ain't no bad. Yeah, Jay-Z said, hey, man, y'all boycotting the NFL because the NFL kicked Colin Kaepernick from out the league for kneeling and protesting police brutality. He was protesting social issues that affects black folks, and them owners told him, yeah, we don't like that over here, boy. You got to go. Black folks said, that's not right. Jay-Z came in and said, huh? Are we really about to still boycott because Colin Kaepernick don't got a job when we could take these millions of dollars? Huh? What? And Charlamagne the God sat in there and co-signed everything Jay-Z said, man, and then left that press conference and continued to be the #1 supporter of Jay-Z and the NFL getting together. Jay-Z sat in our face and said, hey, y'all boycotting because Colin Kaepernick don't got a job? Yeah, by the way, we passed the kneeling. Like, we passed the boycotting process. Like, not only are the players done kneeling, but we not riding with Colin Kaepernick anymore. We not continue this boycott of the NFL until Colin Kaepernick got a job, because Colin Kaepernick, like, having a job is not important. Sorry. Right? We got, huh? Jay-Z was brought in to undermine and co-opt Colin Kaepernick's movement, and he did that successfully. And Charlamagne the God was right next to him, helping him out. But we forget about that detail. We forget about that when talking about the situation. Funk Flex just woke that up. If we consider Jay-Z evil and a snake and a treason, then why don't we consider Charlamagne the God and what he did treason too? These folks sold out black folks in front of us for their own self-gain and self-interest. Yo, Funk Flex just woke up some, man. He just woke something up here now, bruh. Charlamagne, nah, come on, bro.
With that particular situation, my bosses at the time and different people, hey, Jay called over and said, just give him a chance. I think he said 6 months. I always knew in 6 months that that's not going to resonate the same way if it's a mistake. And whatever it was, Jay-Z, like I said, 9 out of the 10 things I love about you, bro. The Colin Kaepernick thing was a real slice below the belt, and that wasn't for your people. Mm-hmm. And you try to make people believe it was for your people, and that's why you're getting the target flack, Jay. That's why you're getting the target flack, because you and your team have always tried to camouflage that you're helping. If you want to chop Colin Kaepernick off at the knees, just say it, man. That's why this thing is real questionable. It's not questionable anymore, Jay. It's not questionable anymore, to be honest. It's like you cut his knees off because some way or how the NFL spoke to you or you made your way to them and you knew whatever bag that you were taking was going to neutralize Colin. You knew that. You're smarter than that. But it's okay if you want to take it. Take it, my brother. Take it, but wear it, man. That's all, because that's why this all gets weird. If you're saying something about him, he gets upset. His team gets upset because we see through the jokes. And listen, it's a good jokes, bro. I ain't knocking your jokes. I'm just saying it came at the expense of Colin Kaepernick, and we saw you. You made, not you and your team, made personal calls to air personalities to make sure how they spun it. So he was with Colin in the beginning, but when you smelt the bag, and I hate to say this, my brother, but this is how it works. You was with Colin, wearing the jersey with him, phone calling him and everything. Y'all was communicating. And you either got a call, a whiff, that the NFL wants to talk to you. Somewhere in there, you made a decision. Jukes. But it's okay. Brooklyn, I understand it. You a hustler. I understand you, bro. But I keep it a buck, man. Most Brooklyn and hustlers, they just say what it is, man. I'm going to get that money.
And if the mindset is, I'm going to get that money, I'm going to get the money, I'm feeding my family, yo. If that's the mindset, I don't think anybody can fault Jay. If Jay come out and say, hey, bruh, I don't know what y'all talking about, Colin Kaepernick with that kneeling, with that boycotting. Hey, bruh, I'm taking that bag to run a Super Bowl and to feed my family, homie. I don't know what else y'all talking about, but that ain't got nothing to do with me. Black folks would have respected. But we don't respect you coming with the kufi talking about, listen, black folks, I'm here to save us. I'm here to do social justice reform. My way is the best way for us. You know, we got to do this, folks. I'm doing this for the culture. That's where we get upset at. And that's where people say, bro, you was a scumbag, man. You is a foul human being. You is not, you just a nasty individual. Why do you do this, bruh? Bro, you up $1 billion. You don't gotta do this to us, man. You already made $1 billion off us, bro. What else do you want from us, huh? You already clean us dry. You already clean. What more do you want from us, Jay? What more? Leave us alone, bro. You don't gotta come, hey, black folks. Hey, listen, man, I'm here to save us, man. I'm here to save us. Listen, you gotta follow me. I'm Jay-Z. I'm the authority of this, man. And then you take everything from under us, man. Colin Kaepernick was on the path of getting real change and real justice. Like, black folks was lockstep. We was lockstep, bro. Players was not gonna be penalized and punished for kneeling anymore. Colin Kaepernick would have probably came back. There would have been real change. But you know what happened? Jay-Z came in, destroyed the entire movement. Those NFL owners went right back to doing what they've been doing, moving cocky, moving arrogant, moving like slave owners. And Jay-Z pocket is enriched. And I'm like, why, bro? Like why, son? You already got the bag, bro. You gonna do this to us? And then Charlamagne the God. Charlamagne the God, if you guys don't know, got a Roc Nation badge. Charlamagne the God has a badge that says Roc Nation. He got his Roc Nation employee badge, but he was not disclosing that to people around him. He was not disclosing that to people he would call to talk about Jay-Z and talk about Roc Nation. Ray Daniels just said that. Like Ray Daniels just said, Charlamagne the God gave him a call to talk about his Jay-Z opinion. But he didn't disclose to Ray Daniels that he was a Roc Nation employee. Now Ray Daniels is finding out, and Ray Daniels, he feels upset. He feels like wronged. He feels finessed. He feels like Charlamagne the God deceived him. Because Charlamagne the God has been running around like Jay-Z's pet, doing work on behalf of Jay-Z and not disclosing that. And now his own friends like his own homie like Ray Daniels, who was in a different space of the internet than people like me and academics, like Ray Daniels aligns with people like Charlamagne the God. Like that, like those are like his group. Like he's a music executive. He's somebody who comes from the structure and the infrastructure. And even he's saying, really, Charlamagne, you gonna deceive me like this?
Charlamagne, Jay-Z, him being a part of the Wayno announcing that Charlamagne's really an investor in Jay-Z's casino. That's something to look at. That's something to pay attention to. I just want to say that.
You want to go ahead and get into it real quick?
Well, for me, Charlamagne called me a little while ago about something I said about Jay, right? We just talked, right? Like, I love Charlamagne. He's one of my idols. I tell him that. And he was like, kind of correct me about something I said about Jay. And I was like, cool. I just heard him. And he was like, I don't work with him, and I was like, and I believed him. I still believe him. I don't believe he works with him, but that is weird that y'all in business together on a casino and you don't say that.
Why are you calling people to correct things they said about Jay-Z and you're prefacing it with hey, I don't work with Jay-Z. Just, hey, bro, just so you know, bro, when I'm defending Jay-Z, sliming out black folks and working with the NFL, I'm not working with Jay-Z, bro. I'm just objective. When I speak on Jay-Z, robbing a bunch of these artists for their equity and title and pocketing $300 million, I'm not defending Jay-Z because I work with him. I'm just being objective, bro. I'm just being objective. Objective. What? Now people are waking up like, hold on, bruh. You call me on that. I'm just being objective. And the whole time you was working with this man, y'all had business dealings. You had an invested interest in making sure Jay-Z's public reputation doesn't get completely screwed and destroyed. You had an invested interest in making sure the public was still on Jay-Z's side of things to get this casino bid approved. So you was calling to do damage control on behalf of Jay-Z, but you did not disclose that, homie. And the reason why he had an invested interest in Jay-Z's public reputation being intact was because that casino being approved was essentially based on, are the people in favor of this? Because the people can put pressure on the politicians. If a politician know that the people who voted for him was 90% in approval of this casino being approved because they rock with Jay-Z and they trust Jay-Z's vision, those politicians are approving it. So Charlamagne the God is going around trying to put out fires for Jay-Z, not letting people know. As a matter of fact, lying to people, no, I'm not working with Jay-Z. Yes, you are. You got a badge that says Roc Nation.
That's to me, this is the first time where I'm like, Charlamagne, you tripping, bro. Like, you give it to everybody. It's time to give it to you now, bro. Like, how are you talking about this casino and now all of a sudden they saying you're an investor in it? He got to respond to that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He has to, bro. In my opinion, it's like, that's like a big deal right now.
Cause he been getting on academics' head about, Drake and all them with Steak and all of the things that they be doing. But
yeah. Bro, he made me look at my Jay-Z take differently. Like, he made me look at my Jay-Z take differently. It's like, and by the way, I still believe that he's speaking from the heart. But when you speak from the heart, you still should give certain details. Like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm in the casino business with him. Even just for the record, right? Just, you have to throw it out there. But when you don't and someone does, it looks like you're hiding it.
Right.
And Charlamagne is a nigga that digs for information. So why are you hiding that? That's the only thing I'm like, that's just something to bring up.
Anybody?
Ask yourselves for a second, why did Roc Nation wanted Charlamagne the God as a partner in this casino? You think they needed Charlamagne the God's money, really? You think Roc Nation, who got access to billionaires like Mike Rubin and others, you think they needed Charlamagne the God for an investment, really? You think if this would have gotten approved, probably cost about $100, $200 million to really build, probably $300 million with the entire package put together. You think Charlamagne the God was able to foot 10% of that or 5% of that? Clearly not. They didn't want Charlamagne the God for his money. So then ask yourself, okay, if it's not the money, if Charlamagne the God can't really contribute anything monetarily to be an equity partner, then what do they want him for? His voice. The same reason why you see people like Angela Rye also listed as like equity partners is because of their voices. Charlamagne the God traded in his voice for equity. And that comes with calling up your homies, people you got relationships with, and trying to make sure they're on board with Jay-Z. He called Ray Daniels, as you guys just heard, and Ray, damn, Charlamagne, you ain't tell me you was with them boys when you called me? It felt like I was talking to the fans, man. You called me about them boys, and you ain't tell me you was working with them boys, man. He called academics try to run the same script on academics, try to divide and conquer. Damn, Act, yo, team and rock with you, bro. Come over here, man. But Act wasn't going. And now they're in this mess because of Charlamagne the God. He lended his voice to Roc Nation to do damage control on behalf of him. And it just backfired badly against him. Think about it for a second. Why do you think people like Angela Rye is online right now saying things like this in regards to Jay-Z and the NFL?
For full disclosure, there are some good friends of mine at Roc Nation, and I talked to one of them about this. I'm like, what happened? You know, why are they saying that y'all partnered with Target? And the conversation was like, that's not true. So I'm like, well, I'm seeing things that look like it's true. They're coming from credible news sources. Digital Music News has Target Snags exclusive, but it says Target Snags exclusive limited run Jay-Z white vinyl reissue. Jasmine Brand posted, Jay-Z is teaming with Target to mark 30 years of Reasonable Doubt. So the confusion is like, well, what's the problem? So I'm like, well, why would you give them something exclusive? And the conversation was, it's not exclusive. This is being sold at Target, on jz30.com, on Roc Nation, several independent stores. So I'm like, well, where is this exclusive coming from? And then I figured it out. So Roc Nation very rarely posts anything on social as a collab, right? There's a collaborated post with Roc Nation and Target. And I think because of the strength of the brand, people look at that and say, oh, they're bedfellows now. They together. Jay-Z must be ready to buy out half the Target stores. That got to be what's happening. But what you actually have is something far less than that. And before I show you all the examples of all of the artists that have done the exact same thing, I want to say this. I think the narrative around Jay-Z undermining Colin Kaepernick with the NFL is unfair. I know firsthand of things that Jay-Z and the CEO of Roc Nation did to try to help Colin Kaepernick. I don't know if he knows or not. That's not my business. But I know for a fact that them being there, they were trying to be helpful to Colin. And most importantly, all of the halftime shows that y'all have made go viral over the years, since they've been there, including Kendrick and Samuel Jackson, you can thank Roc Nation for that.
Tamika Mallory did this too. Yo, have you noticed whenever they discuss this, they don't ever disclose, oh, by the way, like we doing business with Roc Nation. Is always, I called one of my good friends up at Roc Nation. I called one of my good friends who worked at Roc Nation. I called one of my stepdaddy's uncles, nephews, cousins, girlfriends, boyfriend, who's my good friend who works at Roc Nation. It's never, hey, bro, I'm in a Roc Nation building, so I'm just privy to this information. Now, this pains me because Angela Rye is a beautiful woman. Oh, my God, man. And if y'all think Angela Rye is fire right now, this is Angela Rye in her 40s. Have you seen Angela Rye when she first went on Brilliant Idiots? Like 17, 18? Angela Rye is a good. So it pains my heart, man. But the truth is the truth. Not only do you excuse him for the Target stuff, you immediately go to your Jay-Z ain't do nothing wrong with Colin Kaepernick talking point. Yo, Jay-Z tried to help Colin Kaepernick. You mean when Jay-Z and Roc Nation tried to set up this workout for Colin Kaepernick, but Colin Kaepernick had to sign this paperwork to where he won't sue the NFL for any reason whatsoever moving forward in the future? You mean that? Like the workout that was a trap for Colin Kaepernick to sign over his rights? What, give him a workout and then go back to not signing him anyways? But now he can't sue you guys for collusion. Man, cut it out, bruh. Now, Fun Flex will say that Charlamagne the God didn't just start working with Roc Nation, that he been obsessed with Jay-Z.
You thought it was okay for Jay to say we're past kneeling and everything else. You sat there, you didn't say nothing. You could tell people behind the scenes what you said got edited out. We don't believe you. It's cool. And to be honest, his name's Charlamagne, I'm gonna tell you why you did that. And I'm gonna tell the music down. I'm gonna tell you why a lot of people don't understand why you did that. I'm gonna tell you why. You stood outside of New York, in North Carolina, your whole life. I think you did a little time in Philly. and you look down at this city and you're amazed by it. You want to come here. And you wanted to skip the line. And you thought, let me get next to Jay-Z. I mean, you rode his corn knob every chance you got, bro. Every chance you got. You rode his pepper, and you got his mayonnaise all over your face. Every chance you got. You know why? Because you was looking for validation from a New York cat. You wanted validation. And what you did not realize, Charlamagne, is that boy Jay-Z right there, you ain't smarter than him. He's hustler from Brooklyn. You ain't never gonna outsmart him.
Ever.
And I know, Charlamagne, you was at your dinner table. Jay-Z really likes me. He likes my opinion. You was wearing that dirty Roc Nation hat I don't know how many days in a row. I thought it was a uniform. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. I'm not taking away from your accomplishments and what you do for people. But I'm saying, you were a groupie with that Jay-Z. And you know something? We're going to keep it a buck today. You know, us from New York, see, you thought us falling back on Jay, you could just jump in and put his knob all over your nose, right? And put his eggnog all in your mouth.
When Charlamagne thought he was getting the best of academics in this back and forth, when Charlamagne thought he was in like the driver position, he didn't want to sit down with academics. You heard Alex in the first clip I played. Alex said, bro, y'all should sit down. He said, nah, I don't want to sit down, nah. But now that Charlamagne the God realized he has lost control of the public narrative, he has lost complete control, and now people are kind of like looking at him and Roc Nation like, bro, y'all are evil. Now guess who want to sit down? Guess who want to have a conversation now? This is the literal definition of the public and the media and the scrutiny making Charlamagne the God do something he doesn't want to do, which is sit down in front of academics and answer these questions.
Chat, we have officially scheduled a sit down, me and Charlamagne. We've scheduled it. I will tell you my understanding of what it is. So my understanding, and this is, you know, for the people who said Act may have, Act might be ducking smoke, or maybe Charlamagne ducking smoke. Neither of us ducking smoke. There's no really smoke there, I think, but we never know. We never know, okay? I've done some negotiations. I said, listen, I'm not doing Brilliant Idiots. This is not Brilliant Idiots. Y'all not going, I don't know if Schultz is filming a movie or whatever, but y'all not going to like get this as now. I said, and this hasn't been finalized yet, but it seems to be something where it's going to be me and Charlamagne, not off the record, not Brilliant Idiots. We're going to figure out what it's going to be. That's happening soon. I won't tell you what date, but it is happening this week. My thing is, we could jointly put it out, and I was big on the filming of it. Now I'm going to be honest, and I got to let you know everything going into this. So Alex Media was kind of middleman, and when I was saying to him, I said, bro, my whole thing is to go into a neutral platform. He was trying to call himself neutral. I'm like, nigga, I'm neutral, nigga. You film Brilliant Idiots, and you film Flagrant. Like, Charlamagne's your nigga. Nevertheless, he says, hey, listen, production-wise, I think we could do. I'm like, all right. I said, listen, I don't want no edits. I don't want Desiree Perez. I don't want Jay-Z. I don't want Blue Ivy. I don't want nobody editing nothing. We just gonna do it.
This is where I hold academics accountable. Now, Ack is my brother. Y'all know this, right? I rarely criticize Ack, but this is where I gotta hold Ack accountable because this is inexcusable. Now, Charlamagne wanting to sit down because he lost, yeah, duh, right? He wanted to sit down, have a conversation now when he was fronting and ain't want to have the conversation before. Now he wants to have a conversation because he realized the public narrative has gotten away from him, and this is a way for him to kind of draw it back in. Ack, let me get this straight, bro. You're communicating and you are trusting Alex Media to be the mediator in the neutral playing ground when Alex Media is the same person who screenshotted Grant's messages and sent it over to Charlamagne to use it against him. When Alex Media is the same person who just dropped a video on his Instagram and his like podcast or whatever, talking about how Roc Nation is amazing and we hate us. Alex Media, the same person who backdoored Grant, like this is the person you're trusting to be the neutral playing field. Come on, act like this is, bro. What? Like, come on, bro. What are we doing, man? Like, what are we doing, bro? There's 1,000 podcast studios in New York or in Jersey. There's 1,000 podcast studios, bro. There's a million places you could go to record and sit down. But you're trusting Alex Media to be the neutral playing field after all the grimy stuff he did over the last week and a half? Alex, really? Bro, Alex can't be trusted, homie. We gotta be smarter than this, man. This is, bro, I don't know, bro. Like, why? Bro, Alex been moving like an absolute snake the last couple, of weeks, bro. Bro, Alex is damn near the reason why this thing kicked off. Alex even admitted, he was gossiping about what he quote-unquote heard from them folks. But if we mad at Charlamagne for not telling us, hey, this is where I got my information from, why are we not mad at Alex for not telling us where he got his information from? Alex Media can't be trusted. He's a snake. Why would you, bro, I don't know, man. Y'all let me know, bro. But again, I ain't got no horses in this race. I ain't got no beef with Alex Media, but I think, again, like Alex Media did indeed snake Grand Wizard. He did indeed snake Act. I wouldn't trust him. But again, this is why I tell everybody, bro, y'all getting involved in a beef that got nothing to do with y'all. Nothing to do with y'all at all, right? Think about it for a second, which is why I was like very open to say, hey, I am not a part of the pod war. Because if I come out the window and I go crazy on Alex Media, I go crazy on Charlamagne, I go crazy just for Act to still be talking to Alex Media. Just for Act to sit down with Charlamagne, they squash their beef. Now guess what? Y'all on the outs. Y'all going crazy for the beef to be squashed next week. Y'all going crazy for Alex Media to do every snake move in the book this week. But like he's still friends and he's still cool with Act and they about to work the. I don't know, bro. Again, man. Bro. Like, y'all let me know, man. What y'all think about this, man? All right, like again, man. Shout out to Act. I support Act, but I don't support this move at all, man. But again, that don't matter because I'm not Act, right? But I don't support this move. I don't support involving Alex Media in anything you got going on if you're trying to have a fair, neutral ground with Charlamagne the God and Roc Nation. Y'all let me know what y'all think, all right? If you're still, like watching this video, man, and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, or here, somewhere on my screen to find out why exactly WAC 100 crashed out and threatened to knock out his co-host. This is the worst WAC 100 crash out I've ever seen on a podcast yet. Click on this video right here to find out what I'm talking about. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.